In the face of political and economic disillusionment, a significant migration crisis unfolded in late July 2026, as reported by a World Politics Review, which captured the urgency with the headline, "Morocco's youth are choosing the sea over the ballot box." This phrase serves as a powerful metaphor reflecting the stark choices some young Moroccans feel they must make between risking a perilous sea crossing to reach Ceuta, a Spanish enclave on the northern coast of Morocco, or participating in the upcoming parliamentary elections set for September 23, 2026. The Associated Press highlighted that approximately 72,000 individuals surged towards Ceuta during this period, driven by rumors that the border was open, marking it as the largest migration wave between Morocco and Spain in recent years. However, it is crucial to understand that the notion of choosing the sea over the ballot box should not be interpreted literally. While there are overlapping pressures contributing to this migration, available evidence does not establish a direct link between these crossings and the decision not to register or vote. Instead, it illustrates a complex interplay of economic frustrations and political disengagement among the youth. In late July 2026, a significant surge of migration from Morocco to the Spanish enclave of Ceuta unfolded, spurred by social media posts on platforms like Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. These posts inaccurately claimed that Spain's border with Morocco was opening, while also providing details about patrol patterns and swimming routes. As a result, many young Moroccans flocked to the city of Fnidek, which borders Ceuta. Some attempted perilous swims around the roughly 5-kilometer breakwater, while others sought to cross by land or in small boats. Tragically, this journey led to a humanitarian crisis, as reports from the Associated Press indicated that over 80 migrants lost their lives, including 72 on the Spanish side and 11 in Morocco, due to drowning and a stampede during the chaos. While most survivors returned to Morocco, either voluntarily or after being expelled, thousands remained in Ceuta for several days, placing immense pressure on the local shelters and public services. This incident highlighted the desperation of Morocco's youth amid economic struggles and rising unemployment, with many seeking alternatives to voting in the upcoming elections. Economic pressures significantly influence the decision-making of young Moroccans, particularly as they face a challenging job market. Despite Morocco's investment and industrial growth, which includes the establishment of major factories and the development of ports aimed at making it a regional automotive and logistics hub, the benefits have not been equally distributed. According to the International Monetary Fund, IMF, the overall unemployment rate in Morocco stood at 13% in 2025, with youth unemployment reaching a staggering 37.3% for those aged 15 to 24. This figure is particularly alarming for young women, who faced a 50.2% unemployment rate compared to 31.9% for their male counterparts. Additionally, the IMF reported that 25.2% of Moroccan youth were not engaged in employment, education, or training, highlighting the dire economic situation many face. While these statistics underscore the economic motivations behind the recent surge of migration towards Ceuta, they do not imply that every individual seeking to migrate was solely driven by unemployment or economic marginalization, making the issue multifaceted and complex. The proximity of Ceuta to Morocco makes Europe feel tantalizingly close, despite the perilous journey and uncertain prospects once migrants reach the mainland. This geographical reality creates a compelling image of opportunity for many young Moroccans. Reports indicate that online rumors have played a significant role in transforming long-standing aspirations for migration into a suddenly perceived chance to escape. During the late July migration surge, approximately 72,000 individuals attempted to cross, motivated in part by claims that the border was opening. The influence of relatives or friends returning from Europe with financial success and material goods further fuels this desire, elevating their perceived social status in their communities. However, the reasons behind this migration are complex and contested. Some experts interpret these crossings as a manifestation of despair and institutional failure within Moroccan society, while others argue that they reflect the dynamics of misinformation and border conditions, suggesting that the surge may be more spontaneous than a calculated rejection of national politics. This divergence in understanding highlights the multifaceted nature of youth migration and its intricate relationship with political engagement, especially as Morocco approaches its parliamentary elections. As Morocco approaches its parliamentary elections scheduled for September 23, 2026, concerns are rising over youth disengagement from the electoral process. The official campaign period will run from September 10 to September 22, but recent registration figures reveal a troubling trend. After a revision process concluded on July 10, 2026, the official electoral roll website listed 15,801,762 registered voters, down by more than 2.1 million, compared to the nearly 18 million registered in 2021. Among these, voters aged 18 to 24 make up just under 3%, approximately 474,000 individuals, while those aged 60 and above account for 30% of the electorate. This stark age disparity raises questions about youth representation in a country where the overall population is considerably younger. While these figures indicate a significant underrepresentation of young voters, they do not necessarily reflect a complete rejection of the political process. Factors such as high youth unemployment, which the IMF reported at 37.3% for ages 15 to 24, may contribute to perceptions of politics being less appealing than migration. Ultimately, the challenge for the Moroccan government will be to engage this demographic effectively ahead of the upcoming elections. Critics of Morocco's political system argue that the electoral process often fails to lead to meaningful changes in economic conditions or the distribution of political power. This perception can lead younger citizens to view voting as an ineffective means of enacting change. In contrast, the Moroccan government highlights economic growth, infrastructure investments, and reforms aimed at modernizing its institutions as evidence of progress. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, identifies several structural issues contributing to weak labor market outcomes, such as skills mismatches and limited opportunities for small and medium-sized enterprises. Simultaneously, the challenges faced by youth, including a staggering 37.3% unemployment rate among those aged 15 to 24, exacerbate feelings of disenfranchisement. Meanwhile, Spain and European institutions focus on border control and humanitarian management, pointing to the complex dynamics surrounding migration. Disputes over responsibility for the crisis also arise, with Moroccan officials criticizing a recent Spanish Supreme Court ruling affecting the return of migrants. This multifaceted political landscape illustrates the varying perspectives on the crisis and its implications for the upcoming elections. The recent surge of youth migration from Morocco to Ceuta holds significant international implications, particularly for Morocco-Spain relations, which are intricately linked to cooperation on migration, security, and trade. The situation underscores the European Union's strategy of externalizing migration control, as sudden movements of people constrain resources in small territories like Ceuta, even when many migrants eventually return or are removed. Tragically, the loss of life during this crisis highlights the humanitarian costs associated with misinformation and irregular migration routes. The deaths raise critical questions about how unaccompanied minors are treated and the legal frameworks governing immediate returns. For Europe, this episode serves as a stark reminder that migration pressures may arise not only from conflict or poverty in far-off regions, but also from local economic frustrations, amplified by social media and the proximity of European territory. As the youth of Morocco turn to migration amidst political disengagement, this complex scenario challenges existing policies and calls for a re-evaluation of how migration is managed on both sides of the Mediterranean. As Morocco approaches its parliamentary elections on September 23, 2026, the focus will be on whether political parties can effectively engage younger voters, especially in light of the recent migration crisis. Key indicators to watch will include overall voter turnout, age-specific turnout data, and how party campaigns address crucial issues like employment, education, public services, and regional inequality. Morocco's youth, facing a staggering unemployment rate of 37.3%, may feel disillusioned with traditional political avenues, viewing migration as a form of expression in response to their economic frustrations. Meanwhile, the Moroccan government is expected to bolster border surveillance and counter misinformation, while Spain and the EU will be pressured to enhance their reception capacity and clarify immigration procedures. The underlying challenge remains whether economic reforms can create stable opportunities for young Moroccans. If these reforms fail to yield visible improvements, migration may persist as an alternative to political engagement, highlighting a significant disconnect between the electorate's needs and the political landscape. The outcome of the upcoming election could either reinvigorate faith in the political process or further entrench the view that migration is the more viable option for a better future.